Hello, my name is Dante Vernay, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1972's Unholy Rollers. Right here, Unholy Rollers, and this is part of a 4-pack from, I believe, Scream Factory that has a bunch of films on it, but we're looking at Unholy Rollers tonight, and you can see Claudia Jennings on your left there, and she is the star of the film. Unholy Rollers. You know, roller derby has gotten a bit of a resurgence in the past couple of years and in our modern era, but roller derby as it used to be, as it really started, was an entire culture that really can't be replicated today. But Unholy Rollers from 1972 brings you a snapshot of that culture, and not only the culture surrounding the wild, rebellious sport of roller derby, but also of 1972. Let's get into Unholy Rollers here. I have some notes. You're going to see my eyes divert. Love this movie, and it's a movie that definitely needs to be spoken of more, especially if you're a fan of Claudia Jennings. Unholy Rollers has roller derby of the 70s, a hard girl looking for a way out and a way up, friendship, family, romance, violence, fame, business, money, rebellion, tattoos, strip clubs, fights, shooting guns on motorcycles, and so much more. This film looks at, to me, our personalities and our boxes and our desires and our childhood and our anger and our lives and the connections of all of those. We have hard and tough and relationship to anger. What is rebellion, and what is rebellion's relationship to business? And is there a difference between being a go-getter and being a rebel? These are some of the themes explored in Unholy Rollers. Now, this is the ultimate Claudia Jennings film, by the way. This is her film. She's the lead in this film. She is the entrance, the gateway into Unholy Rollers. She is it. I've looked at other of her movies on this YouTube page, like Truck Stop Women and Gator Bait 1. And she just really had such an awesome presence. She was also a playmate, and this is my favorite Claudia Jennings film so far. Definitely. Absolutely loved her in this movie. If you like redheaded girls, if you like redheaded girls with great bodies that have a 70s vibe about them, this is your lady. This is 88 minutes of energy, fun, entertainment, snapshots, wildness, action, and the intensity, and just the interesting turns of everyday life in this Unholy Rollers world. Really snapshots into everyday life in this subculture, in this world, but also in the world of a rather normal girl entering into this subculture in terms of the rest of her life and the baggage and the anger that she has. And more than that. She's much more complex than that. This is a film of characters and tension. Roller derby is defined in this film, really, as I mentioned before. Roller derby of 1972 is really defined. A lot of people didn't realize that it was men and women. And it was almost a bit of, WWF before WWF. And a heavy dose of realness as well. And who was attracted to roller derby. We have point of view shots in here. We have wild action sports shots in here that tie into the story and the characters. In Unholy Rollers, we have a need. We show a need for love, a need for personalization, a need for freedom, and finding a place. not even just your own place, just finding a place at all that could be your own place. Everything is interesting in this film. When you watch people shopping, when you watch people driving, when you watch people watching television, obviously the roller derby, even the opening of the movie with a skipping record. Everything is interesting in Unholy Rollers to me. I was absolutely captivated and didn't even conceive of it ever ending. There is subtle humor in here and lots of characters telling jokes. Some of them might have been comedians, I don't know, but in a very rhythmic way and not over the top at all. The humor is subtle and it is scattered throughout the film. In terms of the sexuality of Unholy Rollers, we have lots of topless nudity, we have naked butt, we have dancing, and even a roller derby strip. And sex with roller skates on as well, of course simulated. So there's a good deal of skin and also bra and panties and a great scene of a doctor taking advantage of his lady patient, something that Professor Plum did in the Clue movie. Maybe not in the same way. We have lesbians and we have racial issues in this movie and sex issues and gender issues explored in Unholy Rollers. We have lesbian humiliation of heterosexual women in this film as well. We have jealousy and indoctrination into a new life, a new club, what it takes and what it means. Almost like a Rocky training montage where the training, though, is relational. In the movie, we have like 50s fun type music scattered throughout the film, but the interesting thing is that for the most part, it's natural sounds in this movie. Something interesting that says on this official DVD release from Scream Factory, it says musically edited for home video. Whatever the hell that means. If anybody knows what that means, please let me know if you saw this in theaters and then saw it on DVD and what the differences were. But we have 50s type music in here. We have rough girls, and Claudia is a literal firebomb in this movie. Not just mentioning her ginger hair, but I'm talking about a literal firebomb in this film. A tough girl versus independence, versus feminism, versus anger, versus man-hating. We have sadness and emotions in this film, almost reminding me a bit of the film The Legend of Billie Jean. The role of chaos and the climax of the movie. It's powerful. Unholy Rollers is powerful. It's fun, it's raw, it's sexy, it's dark, and it's wild. Keep your eyes open in this movie for lots of side characters in this film who are side characters in lots of other films that you might be familiar with. I mean, this is a Roger Corman film, Unholy Rollers, but keep your eyes open for characters from other exploitation films from this era and beyond, because you will notice some people in here undoubtedly. Unholy Rollers is just... It's just a fascinating type of film because it's a film not only about a girl and her life, but also her friends, also her new friends. But it's not an easy film because the twists and the turns in the film don't lead to happiness, don't lead to always good things. And just because you join a team in a new club, doesn't mean you eventually become friends. And there are hard conflicts in this film. This is a complex movie that I believe is actually quite real, even in the business world as well. This is Unholy Rollers from 1972, starring Claudia Jennings. Man, is this an awesome, awesome movie. This is awesome. It's directed by Vernon Zimmerman, and it was based upon a story that was co-written by the director Vernon Zimmerman as well. Very interesting. Unholy Rollers, 1972. That's not the official poster art, but that's my reversible cover there for you. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Unholy Rollers from 1972. Please feel free to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. That's POOPY diarrhea. You can subscribe there, see all my past films and all the new ones that are getting released monthly with lots of music as well. Thank you so much, and good night.